Go on, Joe.
Welcome to the video, everyone. Today's the day of competition. Yes, it's finally here. I woke up this morning and weighed myself in at 93.7 and then I panicked and then went and weighed myself again and it was 92.1. So my scale was like telling fibs, so I picked it up and I moved around the bathroom. I brought it down here. As you can see, the floor is like hard floor. So I tried it down here and I was always 92.1. So I don't know why it gave me a false one for the first one. Maybe my scale was just panicking me for funsies. You know, maybe it has a brain. Anyway, what I wanted to show you before we actually leave for the competition is some of the food that I got. So I got some donuts, traditional powerlifting food. I've got 2 sandwiches. I think there's some sandwiches there, but oh well. Jelly babies. My brother is type 1 diabetic and he says these get into his system really fast, so I've got those. This was a gift off somebody, these because I just like them, and then rehydration for rehydration. And then I have this smoothie because we look, the sugar in this is 30 grams of carbs and it's 25 grams of sugar, which is exactly the same as Lucozade. So I might as well drink that and not drink Lucozade because that has all the like vitamins and minerals and macronutrients that are going to be helpful, because I haven't eaten since about 5:30, 6 o'clock yesterday. So that's what I'm going to refuel my body with. Very quick carbs. If you want to know about the diet that I've been on into my comp and the water cut that I did, then leave a comment and I'll go over it. But now let's get to the competition because I want to get there early to see some of my friends lift. So we made it. I've been here for a while. I watched Meg do some of her lifts and some of the other people from the Wolfpack, my powerlifting gym, and I've weighed in. I weighed in at 92 and I've literally just stuffed my face, so I'm feeling a bit full, a bit bloated. I don't really feel that depleted of water, but we'll see how the bar moves when I start warming up. I'm not going to be warming up yet, probably in about an hour's time, but that gives time for the food to go down, that gives time for me to just relax, because I was a bit worried about weighing in. Now weighing in's done, everything's easy. I'm just going to chill. This place is quite interesting. It's called, what's it called?
Power and Fitness.
Place interesting, it's called Power and Fitness. It's 2 floors, so the first floor is the like warm up gym area where they get coffees and stuff, and then the top floor, second floor, is actually where the lifting is taking place. So yeah, let's get to it. Hi everyone, so we're actually about a week later. So I didn't film myself at all after that clip you just saw. I went into the warm-up room, I got my mind right, and I just focused on what I needed to do at the competition instead of filming myself. What I did was I passed the camera. What I did was I passed the camera to Alex and she filmed all of my lifts. So let's watch each one of my lifts and I'll talk about them. So before we get into this one, you start with squats, and I was going into this very nervous because you want to get yourself on the board straight away, and I'm always nervous for my first lift of the lift I'm doing. So the first squat, the first bench and the first deadlift, I'm always the most nervous. So let's watch it and see how it plays out.
Bye, Joseph. No lift, I'm afraid.
So, as you can see, my first lift was a no lift. If you see at the end of the video, the person in front of me gives me a white, which is good lift, and the two on the sides give me two reds, which meant my depth wasn't good enough. Now, the squat from my perspective on this camera, it looks fine, it looks quite deep, but it wasn't good enough for the judges that day. And they're the people that I am trying to, I need to impress them. I need to do it for their criteria. So there was no need for me to moan and try and blame the judges or the judging for being harsh or brutal, because to be honest, I did shave it off a little bit, and I think that's just due to nerves. So what we had to do at that point is to get me on the board is to repeat the same lift. So I went out there with 182.5 kg, and my second, so instead of going up to maybe 190, which is what we planned, I'm going to have to repeat the same weight because it would be too risky to put it up with my nerves being high, and then we miss that one, and then I've got one last attempt, and I'm not going to put that one up, and it's just, I'm not experienced enough to put my lift up after I've failed. So let's watch the next lift after, because what you have to do is you have to wait for everyone in the flight to go after you. So if you're like the first person to lift, you lift, everyone in the flight lifts, and then you go again. So you have around 5 minutes, a little bit more depending on how big the flight is. And I would say I had around about 5 minutes. So this is the second squat.
Come on, Joseph.
Really happy with that. I sank it, not too much. It was perfect. It was exactly what I did in the back room. All the judges were happy. You can see I went out more determined because as soon as I got the weight on my back, I knew I could do it. I was like, I've done this a lot. I know I can do this. So that was 182. Let's watch the next one, my final squat of the day.
Come on, Joe!
So, another good lift. It was 190 kilograms. The only thing that I would say is I did go too deep. So, for the last lift, squat 2, that was perfect. This one, I went out and I really sank it. And my thinking at the time was, I know I can do 190. It's my comp PB match. And so I matched it from my last comp, which was an unofficial one at my own gym. And I just knew I could sink it and I knew I could get it up. And then would have none of the judges could say that wasn't deep enough, because in my mind I was like, yeah, I might make it harder for myself, but I know I can do it. Now that's, if I was going for a PB like 195 or 200, I probably wouldn't have done that because I don't know if I would have the strength to get out of the hole if I went that deep. So it was my thinking at the time, and I'm just being transparent with how I thought. But really, what I should have done is gone out and executed it exactly the same as I did the previous time. But why make it harder for myself? Because it was already good enough the second time. I was just, nerves make you think stupid thoughts when you're in competition. So let's move on to bench, because we've done all of this now. And what I do after this is I go into the back room and I start shoveling my face full of stuff again, because I have about 45 minutes before I'm back on the platform. Yes, so let's jump into the bench, and I opened the bench press with 125 kilograms.
Bar is loaded, let's go, Joseph.
So it was a good lift and I was really happy with it. It was slower than I expected. It got to this point, but I was having some issues with my shoulder, and here are the excuses. But no, I feel like I didn't warm up enough when I was doing my deload day. So I had some niggle in my shoulder. Now I knew the strength was there because of the warm-ups that I was doing in the back room. But when I was pressing, my shoulder would be like, ow. It hurt, but I knew I could push through it. It was like I don't know, it wasn't an injury, it was just like a pain. And it kind of kicked off here, and then I'd have to tell my brain, shut up, I've got to keep going, and then just kept going. So that was 125. It moved slower than I would have liked. So going into the next lift, we put it up to 127.5, which matches my comp PB from last time. So this is a comp PB match. Let's watch that.
Power is loaded, Joseph. Let's go.
Stop. Press. Rock.
That's a good lift there.
Another good lift. So it had the same sticking point. The pause wasn't overly excessive. I thought the pause was fair. I think that I bring the bar down and it does stop, but when I press it kind of comes back a bit. I've got the same sticking point because of the shoulder, but I'm really happy with that. I've matched my comp PB. Like now the sky's the limit in my mind right now. I'm just like, let's go for 130. If I get it, great. If I don't get it, I've already matched my comp PB, so we're pretty happy. I matched my comp PB on squat, so everything's going pretty well, and I was really happy at this point.
Stop. Press.
Go on, Joe. Push it, push it, push it.
Rock.
That's it.
So that was a good lift. It was a little bit harder than I wanted it to be. I wanted it to fly up a bit quicker. I wanted it to be more like the others. It seemed to struggle more of the way. It didn't just stop at that point and then I had to fight through it. It was just a struggle. And I think I brought it down too fast for me personally. The pause was really good. Like, they didn't give me much of a pause, so they were very kind to me on the bench there. Really happy with it. Now, because I got 130 kg, I have 2.5 kg on top of my total. If I can do what I've already done before in my deadlift. But as we know from my openers, which you should have watched that video, I'm opening with 200 kilograms on my deadlift. So let's get into the deadlifts.
Come on. So good lift there for Joseph. Stay well on the bar.
Good lift, 200 kilograms done, put 200, imagine, 2.5 on my total. So happy with that. The deadlift didn't feel too heavy. One of my warm-ups did, and then I came into this and I just felt good. It felt like a good lift. And what I'll say is, when I've been like warming up, not warming up, but you can see that there's like that separator. So behind the separator is where we're all like getting psyched up before the lifts. A lot of people will wear headphones. Now, on the squat and the bench, I don't wear headphones. And the reason for that is because I don't want to get so lost in my anger or my mindset that I forget the commands, you know, taking it off, looking at the judge, squat command, come down, come up, rack, or, unracking, and then the start command. I don't want to rush that. I don't want to rush the pause, and I don't want to rush the rack, because even if you've you've got it out. They said start. You've paused it and you put it up, and you're all in your head, and you're like, yeah. You can very easily put it back without thinking, and then you've lost that lift even though you just completed it. So I didn't need to get psyched up for those lifts. So that being said, deadlift is easy. You just go up to it, you put your hands on it, and you rip it off the ground. So I was blaring some music. Fit for a King is what I was blaring. I was loving it. Used it in the warm-up room. I used it in the back room. I just took my AirPods off, handed them to Sam, who was handling me, and then I went out and did what I needed to do.
Yes.
That's a good lift there.
Now, that looked really good, and it was a good lift, but personally to me, I've never pulled 205 before, and I went, wow, this is heavy. What you don't see is me walking back to the platform, back to behind the platform, and my handler there, Sam, he looks at me and goes, 210, and I said, no, 207.5, I don't think 210's there. And he listened to me, and he put that on. So the next lift is going to be 205. Now, he said in the back room, why didn't you go for 210? Because you might as well just go for it. You're already second place, which I've not even mentioned in the video. At this point, we knew where I was going to be. We thought I was going to be first. However, we didn't notice the guy who was squatting way more than me. He had like a 230 squat, so he was well ahead. But second place was definitely mine. Just from my opener, on all of my lifts, I was in second place. So I'm really happy with my second place, by the way, but I should have gone for the 210. I should have gone for it, because if I didn't get it, I didn't get it. I didn't need a 207.5, but that moved slower than I perceived it in my mind. In my mind, I felt like that was hard and that was heavy. When looking at the video, it wasn't. And Sam, listened to me and did what I said, but partially, he even said, I probably should have just put 210 on, but at the end of the day, that's a rough call, because if he'd have done that and then came to me, I might have lost my head. If Sam and I had done a lot of comps together, he's got the sense to know what I'd want, but at that point, him and I had not been to a comp together before, and I'm really grateful for all the work he did. As a handler, Sam, who is Daz, who runs the gym, who is my powerlifting coach, it's his son, and he's been to All England. He was a really good powerlifter. He's not powerlifting as much anymore, but he knows his stuff and he's great at handling. He did a great job with me. So now we're on to my last lift. It's a 207.5 kg deadlift. If I get it, it's a personal best, all-time best. Whereas the other ones are comp PBs, this is just an all-time best if I get it. So let's see if I get it.
Go on, Joe. Yes.
So, a good lift. Personal best that I've ever done, a 207.5 deadlift. I was so chuffed that I got it, and honestly, it felt really, really heavy. It felt really slow, especially off the ground, and I don't know if that's just because of my hook grip, because I was tired, or because you pick it up and you go, this is heavy, come on. I also looked right at the judge, or I looked past him, but I didn't look up in the air, up, high up, which is what I've been trained to do, and it was harder than I'd like, but it's a PB, it's everything I had. I gave everything I had for that, but the question is, was there 2.5 kg still in there? Was there a 210 there? I'll never know now, because I played it safe. But by playing it safe, I have a brand new total that is 7.5 kg above my previous one, and this is an actual sanctioned meet. So I came second which I'm really chuffed about. That doesn't mean I'm second in the Northwest. It just means I was second on the day for my weight class of 93 kilograms, which meant I had to be under. And I was really, really happy with that. So thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, please give it a like. I'm sorry if this went on for longer than you anticipated. I'm just rambling. But I really do appreciate people getting to this point in the video. So do give it a like, because it lets me know who's enjoying this content. Let me know what you would like to see going forward. Do you want me to do the same sort of training vlogs? Would you like me to just go into more detail about one part of my training? What would you like to see? I don't know what competition I'm doing next, but there will be another competition, but it'll be in 2020 at some point. Give this video a like, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.